So watch what you say. You bad and had to come along or what?
Like I speak
Were
truth.
you bad and had to come
As
along?
long as everybody speaks the truth, bro.
That's right. Doesn't matter. That's not how it falls, right?
Notepad, so I'll put it in the thing.
Yeah, let me get this one, make sure I got the other stuff. A little bit. Smack it. That's one.
Ready?
Yeah, right.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. Please stand for the pledge of the flag and short pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we ask that you guide us in our decisions tonight to best benefit the township. We ask that you keep everyone safe through the New Year's holiday and keep all the drunk drivers off the road. Amen.
Amen.
All right. First, we'll do the approval of the record retention meeting of 12/13/21.
Do your agenda first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. It's not on. Do we have anything to add to the agenda?
Approval on Monday, 12/25.
No. Never mind. I have a report on 2076 Clover Ridge under the, I guess you could put under the road report with the health department,
All right.
where that's going.
And I have a couple things to share at the fire report, but nothing, just some talking points. Probably nothing we'll act on.
The only thing under zoning, would you be talking about possible move on that, right? Or I left a spot open for that. Right.
All right. Now we'll move to the meeting minutes of the record retentions on 12/13/21. Trustee Bureau moves to accept them as presented.
Trustee Varian, second.
Roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Piru,
Yes.
Trustee Griffith is not present, so that's why we're doing roll call.
Sorry, yeah, Trustee, I don't know where she's at tonight, but she's not here.
Did she have her surgery yet?
She had her
She had her
surgery.
surgery,
Yeah,
yeah.
she had her surgery.
Yeah, so she's probably,
She's home
resting.
recovering.
you know if that went well, did you hear it, Brian? Everything went well there?
Yeah, when she talked to, everything went well and she started her,
Physical therapy, rehab,
rehab
Yeah.
and stuff here.
good. Probably feels a lot better now. A lot of pain.
Next, we'll move to the meeting minutes from 12/13/2021.
Trustee Varian moves to accept the minutes as presented.
Trustee Piro, second. Roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Piru.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alright, next. Trustee Piro moves for resolution 21-292, to move 25,000 into the capital fund of the road vehicle.
Trustee Varian, second.
Roll call. Varian
Yes.
and Piru.
Yes.
And what that was is, this is the time of the year where we're doing this right before we do the treasurer's report. This is the time of the year where the budget was wrote to do 25,000 in the road Capital fund, there was 20,000 to go from the fire department into the fire truck capital fund, and 20,000 to go from the soft billing funds into the capital fund. I wasn't able to do those two, both the fire and the ambulance, because we spent 30,000 on repairing the fire truck. And we spent money, a considerable lot more money on the ambulances, keeping them all in check. I wasn't able to have enough appropriated free money to do that. What I did was I was able to do the road department money, and then I wrote in the budget for the 2022 to do that money then, once we get into 22 and new money come in, to be able to do that fire truck and that ambulance to keep it on track for our capital funds. I asked the trustees to do that ahead of time before we did the temporary appropriation, which that's what we'll be doing next, the approval of that. I'm gonna let the trustees take back over, but I prepared the temporary appropriations that we start on January 1st. I had keyed in the revenue budget that I had verified from the Stark County auditor, and wanted to get that done because when you're looking at any of our treasurer's reports, it's all reflected in that right now. So I'll let you trustees take that back over.
Trustee Piro moves for temporary appropriations 21-293.
Trustee Varian, second.
Roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Hero,
Yes.
and that was $1,104,050.
$1,104,050.
Next, we'll move on to the treasurer's report for 12/27/2021.
Fiscal officer, we have, we've got two reports here in front of us. One goes, looks like 11/23 to 12/13, and then 12/14 to 12/27, looks like.
One's a full year.
And
Yeah,
then this one, that's
when
three.
you're looking at the snapshot of the full year
That's
through
full
the
year.
end of the year,
You've got three of them.
I'm gonna have.
well, you might have mine, I think, if you got three on.
Oh,
One of them
okay.
have a tab on it, by any
No,
chance?
I'm
Because I'm missing one.
missing one. I can give you one of mine.
Yeah, that, I do
Okay.
have that.
So we've got the snapshot of the year, but we also have the most current.
Yeah, what you're
Today.
looking at, your year end one has everything from now until this Friday,
Okay.
because payroll's on it, there's $15,000. That's why you see a difference in the balance, the ending balance.
Right, you're sitting, you're in a
There's
payroll
also,
period.
there's also all the taxes that were paid. I got all those set up. So that's what you're looking at there. The other one is from the last meeting till today.
Okay.
That's the one you're actually going to approve.
Yeah.
Is that one.
Trustee Varian moves to approve the financial report as presented, the 12/14 through 12/27/2021.
Trustee Piro, second. Roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Hero.
Yes.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. I don't know if I grabbed it or if it was in one of my
We can choose
pages.
one of these, can't
Yeah, just,
Yeah, I can.
we? I got mine.
there isn't one laying down there with the tab on it.
No, I don't see it.
You just sign that,
Yep.
sign that one, then I'll take it from there.
There we go.
All right. Next, we'll move to public speaks. We have a Bridget Lensmeyer from Kuntz Memorial Church on the Cemetery.
Yes.
If you could, just please stand and then state your name and address first so we have it for the record.
Bridget Linsmeyer, and I'm associated with actually St. Stephen Martyr Lutheran Church of Louisville, formerly known as Kuntz. And I'm here for the request to transfer the cemetery property that's located in East Canton over to the township. I have a letter for our request. I also have the quitclaim deed notarized. I also printed out the parcel numbers, there's two of them. And I also have a grid of the cemetery that says who's there, who's going to be there, and how many empty graves we have.
That's an
And it's all
Yeah.
part.
Hey, Bridget, does it have measurements on all those graves?
I'm not sure if she did that.
Or we have
I
to
had
step it
We
off.
gotta
or-
eyeball it.
Yeah.
Because our cemetery section is sitting right beside you. You
Yeah,
might
that's
want to show
right.
that.
You wanna look at it?
He's the important guy right there.
In case there's any questions. or-
Here, these are the pending occupants that are going to be going in.
Okay, and it tells where to go, or?
Yes, I think those
Okay.
are all the ones.
Oh, good. Okay.
And Bridget, if there would be any questions, would he come to you or would he come to the other person?
He could probably contact me first,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
I could get
The
you,
number before you go?
yes.
I know Ryan was worried about if something happened, someone would pass between now and the time we have a chance to look that over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from my understanding, there's a lot of open graves,
Not this area here.
I guess, yeah.
So these are the only folks who have claimed to empty plots here. Beyond that, they have to buy them.
They have to buy them
They'll
through the
have to go
township.
Through the township.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, these are the people that we know are going to be buried there.
Okay.
And other than that, we don't have any knowledge.
Bridget, just for a point of clarification, do you guys currently have the property kept by a company, or do you have people in your church that are keeping the
That
property?
Actually, it was a company.
Okay.
I think it was Steve's Lawn Care.
Okay.
That was taking care of it,
All right.
and of course,
Do you know if that person was local?
Steve, I probably
Yeah.
Was it Butler?
Steve Butler.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he's-
Stevie.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are next door neighbors. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
yeah,
Thank you. Now, we have people we use as well, but it's nice to know
yeah,
who was there and who knows the property. And I walked the property, went for Wreath Across America. I went there, and it's bigger than you realize. Once you get into the property, it's a bigger lot.
Yeah,
than
it's
you realize
an
from the
old
road.
cemetery. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really old.
Yeah, you can see where the church was and the stairs. It's really neat.
Yeah, the
So,
steps are still
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So,
thank you.
and who do I give this information to?
Most all the, that documents there, Bridget, I'll. probably
Yes, it's
take
our
those.
letter, and it's the quitclaim deed.
Yeah, that, the trustees should take a quick look at that if you want to bring that up.
Yeah.
And then
These are-
Ryan,
Yeah,
Ryan, we should get some
This is all
photocopies
of
of
yours
those
to
too.
keep.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You can just bring them up here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the time putting all that together. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for
Absolutely.
doing all that.
Okay.
That helps a ton.
That makes my next layer of things I have to do a lot easier. I don't have to call and play phone tag now and you got all that.
okay, and if there's anything else you need that might be missing, let me know.
I think I'll be good. Ryan might be the one that might have the questions.
These numbers, lot numbers,
Yes, as far as I know, they're lot numbers.
Okay, trustee Piro moves to accept the
And I
quitclaim
can
deed
give you the person's
from
name that put that together.
Cemetery,
What
Coos
contact
Cemetery.
information.
Trustee Varian, second.
Roll call,
Varian,
Yes.
Piro,
yes.
Another quick question. I noticed when I was kind of working through the cemetery when we did Wreaths Across America, there was at least one I noticed that was a broken tombstone that had fallen. Do we currently have any like projects in the cemetery that we've agreed to families to fix tombstones? There's none of that lingering? Okay, I was just curious. One was good size and it had fallen and it wasn't
I
anything
think,
I could pick up.
yeah,
So I don't know how many there are, but I was just curious.
yeah, I think there's quite a few of them that are
Okay.
Like,
Either broken
really
or
old.
tipped.
And
Yeah,
you
some
can't
of them are
even
very
read
old.
them anymore, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
We didn't have any projects outstanding that somebody'd say, hey, they were,
Yeah,
Coons
that we were
slash
supposed to
St.
do.
Stephen, we're gonna fix that.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
All right, thank you.
everything is, as far as I know, everything is
Great.
current and up to date.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks for everything you did.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, is
Yeah,
that it?
thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me give you mine.
All right.
And just as a personal note, real quick, Bridget, I understand that you're related to somebody in here. Is that right?
Related to someone?
Yeah, this guy.
Do I have to answer?
Well, we're gonna thank him for his service here a little bit later, but this is his last meeting with us. So thank you for raising a good kid. How's that?
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's a keeper.
That's right. That's right. Well, good. Thank you.
We're gonna wait till 7. Yeah, it's good.
And then let me get your number. Her number's 330-455-3267, and her name is Mel. And she's the one that is the historian that put all this together. And you can let her know who you are if you call her. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Jeff Flint, you got the floor.
Jeffrey Lynch. Okay. I ended up, did what you told me to do. Pulled that, screen out from in front of that culvert.
Yeah.
Okay, now who's gonna clean this mess up? It ain't gonna be me, I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Hey, you shouldn't have put it in there in the first place.
Well, then,
Now you got a whole, what do you have, a whole bunch of water,
Well,
leaves come down
nobody
through all at
wants
once?
to come down and make him clean this up. It's against the law for him to put these leaves in this ditch, but who's gonna enforce it?
You've had that, blocked that
Well,
culvert for
you're
what,
not
2
ready to see
years?
an 8-foot hole right there at the end of that ditch. On my property, right there, for it to run into.
The culvert's plugged or not?
Up the street on the other
I-
side of the road,
I remember.
people's leaves come down like everybody else's, and it's coming down the ditch. Well, he took a graded type deal and put it right over top of the culvert, so nothing can come through the culvert. And I mean, there ain't even water coming through now because there's nothing but leaves probably that's been packed up in there for the last year.
This is the one that goes under your drive.
No,
No, it goes
no, this
under
is
your
going
road.
underneath the road and it
Yeah.
isn't even part of his drive.
This is,
He went up there and plugged it up.
To keep the leaves.
If you come
off.
down over, what's the road name?
It's Cindale.
When you come down over to the dead end and you turn left to go to his house,
right.
that culvert, it goes underneath that road right there. He put a grate right over to the end of the culvert, so no leaves or anything can flow through. It plugs it up. And all I said was, we're gonna have to pull it out of there. You didn't have to, but I said I was gonna pull it out of there next spring or whatever, whenever we're gonna have to go in there and clean the ditch from his culvert back up that way.
So it's plugged now.
I didn't know you went and
No,
pulled
it's
it
not
out.
plugged. It's not plugged. I spent the biggest part of the day, yesterday and the day before, with all this rain, cleaning this guy's leaves up. And I'm not happy about it. Not at all.
Well, this happens everywhere, Jeff.
Well, you know what?
It happens
This
in all
guy
the
wants
ditches.
to work 6-7 days a week. You know what? If somebody don't clean his barn, is somebody gonna take and go in there and clean it for him?
I don't know who's gonna enforce it. That's the problem.
Well, it's against the law. You already give me the paperwork, says it's against the law for you to dump stuff into these ditches.
So I agree with you.
And I said to you a year ago, when I put that grade in there, that they were blowing the grass and the leaves down in this ditch.
And we turned it over to,
To who? Who'd you turn it over to? Because nobody
I
done
don't
nothing with
remember,
it.
that wasn't you, was it? That was Michelle. I don't know where she took it. She took it to the health department or somewhere, but I don't know if they'll do anything for leaves. They're coming out.
Well,
We'll find
you
out.
got me shut up down there with Shear, okay, where I'm not the catch-all
I agree
to
with
clean
that.
everybody's mess up here. And it's not gonna happen. Because I will dig a big cistern right there at the end of that culvert, right there on my property. And then you can hire a vac truck to come out and clean your mess up.
The ditch needs to be open from
That
you
ditch
to
is
shear.
open.
To shear. To
Right,
carry-
it's open to his property, but from his property to that creek, it is not open.
I agree
And
with you.
nobody has done nothing about it.
I've been in talks with the county engineer about getting some funding to put some pipe in there.
Put the pipe, who's gonna pay to hook onto my pipe? Because you ain't hooking onto my pipe, not off of him.
There is no pipe down.
Yes, there is, buddy. I've got almost $2,000 in pipe put down through there.
Well, you
You mean
want,
where you come under the road, the driveway?
No, from all down along Charlie down through there.
Hmm.
That I had to clean his mess up.
do you want the water to go through or not?
Well, it's gotta go through, but he ain't hooking onto my pipe unless he's paying me. I'm doing his game. He can pay me.
He's not gonna pay.
That's right. He ain't
I'm
gonna
trying
pay,
to
but
go-
he
I'm
ain't
trying
had
to
to
go-
do anything else.
Well, I can't do anything about him, but I'm trying to go through the county to get a grant money to pay for it. The county's the one that would put it in.
Well, then you know what? Then you need to go back to the people, back over to Kiko's who sold him that property because there was all easements and everything on that property.
I don't argue
To
that.
go down through there and we took care of them
They're in the county,
until he said that we could not clean the ditches on his property.
they're in the county drainage book, but nobody will enforce it.
And why? Do I have to get an attorney and come after the township and him both?
You don't have to come after us. You just have to go after him.
Why? You're the
I
one.
don't agree with it.
Then what
Joe.
am I paying this for?
I don't agree with it, but
Why
that's
am I
not, that's
paying
what
you to
there's no,
sit here then?
you're paying me to sit here because
Because what? City of Canton can handle what you guys are doing. You're qualified enough to run these trucks out of here. Tell me you ain't.
it doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna have the same results. There's nobody to police it. There's no police force.
Then why have the law on it then? That says that this has to be done like this.
I didn't make the law. You'd have to call your state, your representative.
Yeah, and let him not answer a phone call to you, right?
That's, I get the same results. What do you want me to do? I've tried.
But
I've tried.
somebody's got to do something here. Because if not,
I
I
agree.
will dig a thing there. You will buy a vac truck to take and do it.
Well,
So Mr. Lynn, what would you like us to do? If you could pick what you want us to do,
No, I don't want you to
Barring-
pick what you want to do. I want you to clean the mess up.
wait, I'm catching up here. So the grate that you put in, not on your property, catch
It
these.
was on my property.
No, it isn't.
The
You do
grate,
not own the ditch.
You know what? You don't own it neither, because you know why? Because that piece of property there, that road comes off of my property, where that ditch is.
Wow.
Because we put the
No.
road in there. The township didn't put that road in. You guys turned around and as soon as Bradley's
Where at
house,
that intersection?
right to that intersection. It was there before, but when that road was actually put in, my mom and dad put that road in that property down to there because you guys wouldn't put it in. And as soon as Bradley turned around and built that house there, you guys dedicated it.
I don't know.
And that was done
That's
50-some
okay.
years ago.
so don't say.
I know because I lived there. And I helped put that road in down there. Because I can tell you who also
All right.
put it in.
There's a parcel of ground that Dwayne Shear bought that's between Jeff's house and the creek. There's old easements, which are actually in the county drainage book where the main line is supposed to go through. Soil and water was out there. They found them in there, but they don't do nothing about it. There's no police force to do it.
Right.
That's
The
the
pictures
problem.
show it. We walked down
Yeah,
through there. and-
we looked at them, they go on the maps,
I mean, we agree with what he's saying. They were there. They were
Right,
supposed to be
right.
kept there. So the water could flow clear to that creek. Through his waterways, through that field.
that's where the problem is. The water
That's where
gets
the problem
blocked and everything backs up.
Got it.
Right, Joe?
Oh, yeah, because I had my front yard that was full of water again down
I've
there
seen
at
the
the
pictures.
end.
I don't agree. I'm not
Yeah.
arguing
Didn't
with
he
you.
plow that up?
He's tore all that
No,
up.
I'm saying, didn't he plow
Nope.
that field up? I thought maybe he
No.
plowed it.
He ain't plowed it. He ain't done nothing with that thing other than mowed it this year. Is the only thing he's done in the last 5 years.
But he did a plow it years ago that closed
Right.
up the drainage.
He come
ditch.
in and destroyed it.
Right,
That's
that's
right.
what I'm saying. I
And
thought
that's
he
what
did
he
that a
did.
long time ago.
He destroyed the old driveway that was there, everything, and the attorney told him that he couldn't touch a thing here. And then all of a sudden after our house burnt there, then he come in and he decided he was going to do anything he wanted to do, and that's what he did. And this township ain't been able to do one thing with this man since day one.
There's nothing, that's why I'm trying to get grants to put the pipe in so you don't have to spend a dime.
But I've already spent this money to come from Charlie's driveway down to get the mess off, try to get it off me.
Yeah, I understand that, but the problem is between you and the creek. That's Mr. Shear's property. That's where the problem is.
Then you know what, then the house over there, that 2091, where all these leaves and that's coming from, why don't they turn around, they just bring all this piping down there and hook onto that, and then I'll finish doing the other side, and then nobody will have to have leaves other than what's laying in the road.
Well, that's not ours. For us to
You own the
decide.
ditch.
Yeah, but it's not, we're not gonna pipe it.
No, you're not going to
We
pipe
got too
it.
many
So the
ditches
mess
now.
comes all down onto me. How many more homes is out here that's got the same problem that I'm running into?
Everybody at the bottom of the hill.
I ain't at the bottom of the hill. He's at the bottom of the hill. I'm not.
Right, but the problem all is with Shear's property.
And what
Yes,
makes
but-
him God? That's what this is coming into. Can you tell me, Randy, what makes him to where nobody can come in here that he can just do what he wants to do?
I'm sure that he's not the only one that's getting away with that.
Because there's nobody that can stand here and say, well, this has to be done.
That's right. I've tried and I can't find that person.
Well, I haven't been able to
And the
find it.
only thing that they'll
Other
tell
than
you
other
is,
than me reaching into my billfold and spending $6,000-7,000 to take him to court and end up not gaining one thing out of it other than people's water up above me.
that's
running
right.
down
I don't
through
think
there.
it's right that you should have to spend money to get that water through.
I shouldn't have to.
That's
No,
right.
you shouldn't.
I agree, 100%.
And I don't know where this guy thinks what's going on here. What do I have to do? Turn around and put a meter up here and start charging every one of them so much a month to run water down through here?
You want to do something, call everybody. Call them every day. Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I've tried that.
Every day. Call them
And
till they,
everything it comes down to, it means I have to go hire the attorney again and go right back in here and start over. Where I have to spend money that I have nothing to gain out of it. Other than to keep that allotment up there.
the only thing I can say is hopefully I can get this grant to go through it, but eventually it's gonna take time.
So what, did everything come out of that pipe and
Oh,
went clear
yeah.
down to your, why'd you pull it out? I told you I'd come out and pull it
I
out
come-
next spring
I come
when I went
out,
to clean it.
I pulled it out and alls I've had, and I put it back, I put it down right in front of the other one. that
Should have
he-
just left it there, like I said, until spring, and then
And
I'd have pulled it out and cleaned the
And
ditch and
this
got
is-
everything flushed out of there and scooped it out and hauled it away.
this turned into a nightmare
Oh.
off of his mess, because.
You mean up on the other side of the culvert?
Right, because he wants to work 6-7 days a week and,
What did it do? Water filled in the ditch, come out around down the roads?
well, that's what it was doing
Yeah.
before.
Well, I'm sure it is because it's probably plugged
But,
with leaves.
but now I cleaned it, pulled it out, all this debris come flying out of here with all the bags, cans, you name it, from up in there.
I'm sure. it
And then we ended up, his yard is a total mess. I don't have no oak trees on that line over there, through there. I've got pine trees, I've got, a couple sassafras trees that, we take care of and stuff, but these are all oak leaves. What do I do? Take it up here and, clean it, take a bucket and dump it in his driveway?
I ain't gonna tell you to do that.
Is that what you do with it? Give him his own garbage back? Because he's too lazy to do it? If you want to buy a home, you take care of your home. You don't live in a shit.
Well, I agree with you, but it's his property to do with how he pleases, and as long as he isn't breaking any laws and leaves
Well,
on.
when you turn around, you start running the stuff onto me, then you break the law. And that's exactly what the paperwork says, because you're not allowed to put that stuff in a ditch.
That's right. So
So,
you gotta have proof.
proof, I can show you all the proof there is. All you gotta do is go look where it's coming from.
Yeah, but there's leaves blowing everywhere. I mean, you gotta have proof of them dumping it in the ditch.
So,
I'm just telling you how it works. That's just the way it is.
So no matter how covered the yard that is, I have to have proof that I have to literally see him do this, right?
I would say so.
That's a big joke, is what that is. That's what it always is. That's like the cop taking a drunk home, right, and with a beer in his hand.
Yeah, but how
Same
you
difference.
gonna prove them came from his yard?
Because you can see where they come from. How did your ditch get plugged?
Yeah, there's a lot of trees in that neighborhood. They leave
Not where we're talking. Stu will tell you that, not where that corner is right there. There is not that many trees other than in his yard. Am
right.
I right?
There's trees there everywhere.
Yeah, there's trees down on the other side of the road, not on his side. Until you get on up to the far corner.
Well, sitting here arguing about it isn't gonna solve it, so what is it you would like us to do? Only thing I can do for you is just work on getting your ditch open to the creek, so the stuff can continue through.
It's the same thing. It's been since 2005. We're still at this creek deal to where ain't nothing gonna happen.
Well, I haven't been here since 2005.
I know you haven't, but that one there was over there, and Chris Vincent, and that was all here, and,
He's not here no more.
and nobody else has done anything. And every time something went to go on, all of a sudden, two was outvoting the one. We've run into this set for the last, how many years?
All I can tell you is we're working on getting the pipe through.
It's just like the house. We can't do nothing with the house up there neither.
I can't do anything till it goes through. There's nothing we can do. I can't physically make the county pay. It has to go through a grant program, and that takes time. Did I get soil and water out and look at it?
Oh, they were out, what, yeah, and handed me a piece of,
But
Document
every time I
like
told
that.
you I was gonna do something, did I
right,
not do it?
you've done your part. Now we gotta get the rest of it on board, where something can be done.
We're working on it. The health department's coming out. They're gonna test the septic on 2076 Clover Ridge.
What are you gonna find? They're gonna find it's got water coming out of that pipe there that, who knows where it's coming from.
They'll dye test it probably and find out. You wanted us to test it. You were here. You said
I
there's
can
a
test
problem
it.
with the pipe.
You wanna test it? I'll go down to Holders tomorrow morning and I'll buy the dye for the pond to dump in it.
That's not our department. That's up to the health
And you can
department.
see where it's coming from.
But- All right, well, we've gotta keep moving, so.
Okay. We'll see what happens. But all I can say is, get ready to hire that truck. You need it.
Thanks for coming, Jeff.
Yep.
Mr. Parker. You're
I've
up.
got nothing.
You got any drains or anything you want to check?
Have a shot back on it anyway.
You don't have to buy a sound extra.
Yeah,
any drain problems, refer to Jeff.
I was gonna suggest maybe you ask Jeff about working a little part-time, he's doing all that work. I don't wanna make fun of it, because I know he's aggravated, but help him out. At least we can pay him for cleaning it up.
Well, let's move to the fire report.
Nothing like putting you on a hot seat, on you.
You got anything you want
You
to
got
yell
anything you
about?
wanna go
So the only thing I really have to talk about is, we had a meeting with Chief Warner, from Louisville. Rick actually talked to him today. So if you've noticed here lately, pretty much all of the sheets that we print out, we're getting mutually from Louisville a ton. And their counsel came to Chief Warner and said, we can't keep doing that. So, he is working on writing a policy where at night, when they only have one unit, they're just not gonna leave Louisville, which leaves us high and dry. I don't have the staff to fill the station. My people are working way more hours than they're even supposed to. I'm running from home 3, 4, 5 nights a week to try and cover calls. So we need to sit down and figure out what we're gonna do. It's not just us. Everyone is having staffing problems. But if Louisville, rightly so, wants their people to stay where they're covering their own constituents, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I have one person working at the station, I think 3 nights this week. And then this entire weekend is not.
So
completely
if
covered.
Louisville says no to a mutual aid, where does it go?
I have no idea. So they would just be next up. So it might be Nimishillen. Nimishillen does charge us if we use
Okay.
them. Canton Township is a possibility if it's towards the western part, Sandy Creek. So that would be a squad coming out of Minerva. So I mean, we could potentially have someone in our township having a cardiac event, waiting for somebody to come on Minerva. Quad has been backing us up a whole bunch. We are just as short-staffed down there as we are here, and my guess is at some point they're probably going to say the same thing.
Okay.
I don't know if this applies or not, but they're supposed to be bringing in some of the National Guard to work in hospitals.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
are.
a possibility?
So I have not heard anything specifically about them coming out to us. One of the things that worries me a little bit is a lot of those National Guardsmen are EMTs, which means they're pulling them from places. Like we have a guy down at Quad who is full-time at the city of Canton, part-time at Quad, and in the Guard. So he could get pulled from there to go work somewhere else. So you're just robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like it's not fixing the problem. We went out last night. Both times we were out, we waited an hour for a bed. And I'll be honest, one of the patients we took in was bad. And we waited.
Wow.
I mean, multiple people came back, like past us, and they were like, "Oh goodness, is she still alive?" Okay, yeah. Like, so it's bad. I mean, that's an understatement. But we have to sit down and do something.
Who's closest to us? Canton City, Canton Township, other than Louisville?
Depends on where.
Okay.
It just depends on where.
All right. And then Quad is Minerva, obviously
yeah, so anything like south on 44 or Hill Church or any of that, Quad normally backs us up. But like I said, we've been running short down there as well. Okay. So we are going to have to really come up with a plan, whether that means offering more to our people or, I mean, we've hired 3. One is working, one still needs to pass fire school, one needs to finish training. So of those 3, one is working. Our January schedule looks a little better than December, but we're still crazy short. I mean, I'm not positive what the answer is, but we have to be searching for an answer.
Do you think the people are out there, or do you think they just don't exist?
I think it's twofold. I think that there are probably some. We probably would have the ability to hire 1 or 2. We're gonna really have to look hard for them. And I'll be honest, the people that currently work are busting their butts. I mean, I can't ask them to work more.
No.
So.
I got a question. Okay, so the people that you have, are they all paramedics?
All but 2, 3.
Okay, so I don't know how exactly. So if an ambulance goes out, you need 2 people because of the safety after removing somebody, correct?
You do. There have to be 2 people to transport. Everyone that we have has some sort of an EMS certification, whether it's an EMT basic or a paramedic.
How hard is an EMT basic?
Class. It's a semester. So like it starts date, it's a semester long.
So like my point is, so if we have the EMT on the ride and we got somebody to join as the other side, is that possible?
No, there has to be 2 certified people to transport.
And that's a semester class.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 3-month, 4-month?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close your ears, Brian. I'm the money guy. And I don't know the answer to this. A lot of what I'm seeing in the time I've been here is we look for people that are already trained because it's way quicker and faster. And I completely understand that.
Yep.
Is there an incentive, like you said, is there an incentive to go out and say, we will pay for your training? Like we will get you there. And I know that doesn't fix our problem now.
Yeah.
But if we handpick people off the street, which sounds crazy, I know, but if they have any medical background at all, does that make sense?
So I think it does to a point, but I will tell you this. So if we pay for someone to go to, let's say, paramedic school even, so we pay for someone to go to EMT school or paramedic school, it's a 3-year contract that they would be better off buying their contract out and going somewhere else. They'd make back the money really quickly. So even if we did that, like even if we said, hey, Stewie, I want to send you to school, and you're like, all right, I'll sign a 1-year contract. He finishes school and Louisville's like, I'll pay you double. There's no motivation for him to not just say, hey, I'll pay back that several $100. I'm going to go work there and make twice as much.
Got it.
And we have always allowed people to buy out their contracts. is what I'm saying.
I know this has been talked about before, and again, it's a money thing, it's benefits and it's retirement, it's everything else. Does going full-time with a couple people help us?
I think there's potential there if we can do that. I don't know what that staffing model would look like. I mean, you'd have to have at least probably 6 people full-time. I mean, my problem I'm running into right now is even if I have one person there, like I'm basically meeting people on scene from my house to drive the ambulance in.
Yeah, right.
Is what I'm doing, which in the short term might fix things.
But long-term, it's not.
Long term, it's not. I can't.
So just for the fun of talking, because we're not doing anything yet.
Yep.
If we had 6 full-time employees that were the first ever full-time firefighter EMTs for Osnaburg.
Sure.
How many other people would you need to staff the place? How many part-timers would you need? Same as we have now?
No,
We
no, because you would work 2 people 24 hours every 3 days.
You'd work 2 people, 24
So you would
hours.
just need people to cover their time off.
Got it. Would 6 people, if even, let's just pretend we had the money, would 6 people come to work at full-time Osnaburg?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because they'd make more money, have benefits and a retirement at any other department that's hiring, and any other department like Canton Township, Jackson, Plain,
Mm-hmm.
they can't get people fast enough either. So they're gonna go up to Jackson and make 60,000 and have benefits and pay into police and fire.
Right.
Rather than even with a full-time, a promise of a shift every 3rd day. I mean, we're paying our basics $12.65.
If we sat down and punched the raw numbers of it takes 17 part-time people to run the department, and it would take 6 full-timers / 3 or 4 helpers when the people are off,
Sure.
we might find that there's a discrepancy. I know, because you got to pay all this other stuff, but we might be able to offer. I mean, we have to look at it. We might not be able to offer a benefit of some nature, but I see what you're saying. Like, why would you come to Osnaburg if your pay is better in another location? And I know we have not gone to a levy in a long time, and that's a hard thing to do. But if we went back to the voters to try to go full time, maybe that would solve our solution. And I mean, that's going to take some time. I get it.
And
I'm just spitballing.
And I don't know, unfortunately, it might take somebody waiting 35 minutes for an ambulance to be like, what the heck is going on? And then we say, we have no staff.
Sure.
I mean, and it's a miserable thing. I know there's nights that I'm home and I'm like, I that's going on again. Like,
Yeah.
just for me, it's hard living here. I am one of like 2 people that now live in the township, which
So you're
is
the
a
closest.
shift.
Yeah.
So, people that are living further away it wouldn't be practical even for them to come back in to do that.
Have we punched the numbers? If a full-time firefighter makes $60,000 a year and we pay benefits and we pay into the retirement, what's that look like, Brian? Do we know what that looks like? Is that $120,000 per person a year?
It's at least that.
At least that?
It's-
Okay.
When they did this back in 2013, 14,
Yeah.
they estimated it at 100. I had it at 130 back then.
Yeah. Well,
So I'd say it's 150 now.
What's
Okay.
our
In the
total
re-
payroll now?
What's that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to, I just wonder, what is our total payroll now?
for the year?
Well, that, you won't be able to tell them now. Your payroll, the budgeted payroll is shared between the fire department and soft billing.
Okay.
So you have to add the 2 together.
All right. So as they're working through this, does it make any sense at all to try to work together with a partnership with another local? Can we knock on NIM's door again? Can we knock on Lewis's door again? Can we say, what can we do to help each other?
Well, I'm not saying it wouldn't. I think that is one of the things that this is a unique situation in the 15 years that I've been here. We've not been so hard up for staff for so long. Like we maybe have had
Peaks and valleys.
a
Yeah.
short period of time. We've had a really hard time filling the station. And I've talked to other chiefs. I know it's not an isolated problem. And maybe the answer is yes, sitting down and talking to them. But that then means sharing money. It means sharing other
Sure.
things. So
Sure.
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, you certainly give up some control when you share.
I don't know how that's gonna work because they're complaining about running calls because they can't.
Yeah.
So you're doing the same thing where you're borrowing from Rob and from Peter.
Sure.
to pay Paul, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, and we had talked before, Amy, and you talked about how Canton, at one point we said to Canton City, hey, we can't be pulling our ambulance for
Yep.
your 5th call when we're on our first call and we've left Osnaburg,
Yep.
you know, we've got somebody.
Yep.
And I look at it this way. Obviously, we all live in the same world right now. You go to a restaurant and you see 10 booths open and they're understaffed. You wait for an hour for your food. I'm okay with, we're talking about an ambulance,
Well,
taking someone to the hospital that is life or death. Like, it's not the same as waiting on a waitress at a restaurant.
correct. And
We have to
that's,
solve this.
you know, that's what I've said all along. Like, we're not Starbucks. We can't put a sign in the window that says we're closing at 4 now instead of 8
Right.
because we
Right.
don't have the staff. Like, that's
Right.
not an option.
Yep.
So we need to figure out what we can do.
Okay.
It's helped Kansas City in the way that they.
I'm serious.
What
I don't know
overtime
if I-
means, and that's one of the reasons that they're losing people is because of day jobs and mandated overtime.
Well, yeah, some of the full-time departments are either mandating their people to pull overtime.
Right.
So if that's the case, because we're not their main job, that pulls them from us. Or the city of Canton has a list. So like when your name tops to the top of the list, it's either take it or leave it. If you say no, you drop back to the bottom of the list.
Got it.
So they're taking it, obviously, A, because it's more money, and B,
Got it.
because they won't lose their spot.
So I have another question. So I know that the Osnaburg Fire Department is the responsibility of this set of trustees and fiscal officer. Is there any point in taking this to the village? Is there a point to come to them and say, hey, we're in this together?
Or what they would do.
I don't know what they would do for us either. I don't know. I mean, just the stat of like, hey, we are understaffed, like get the word out there. You know, I don't know what that means.
We need to go to an executive session.
You need to pick another time to do it.
All right.
I should be here all along. Because if I'm gonna gather the information.
Yeah.
Not for that,
Need
I,
that
for
to
another
talk
idea,
about.
but I'm not gonna bring it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I've got an idea, but it's gotta be talked about in executive
Okay.
session first.
okay. So,
Do you, sorry,
you're fine, go ahead.
do you feel that some of the changes we've currently made, some increases in pay and also the 24-hour cover and the hero pay, has that helped? Lie and tell me yes.
So I think for the people that are there, the hardcore group of people that have been there and have been busting their butts, I think it says, please keep going, we need you.
Okay,
So I do, I think
So
there's a
those people, your
handful-
core people are hearing that there's a little more money on the table. Good.
Yes, and the problem therein lies when we hit that hour cap, and they're like, I'd work more if I could, but I can't, right? So I have to cap them out at a certain amount. And then I think too, like some of them, like I was saying, I can't ask them to work more.
No, some of them are just done.
I mean, they're getting, between us and their other job, they're getting beat up. I mean, in the last 24 hours, I think we've run now like 8 or 9 calls.
Wow.
So,
That's a
I mean,
lot.
I made it out to the call last night, turned around, made it halfway down Valley Brook, and we dropped tones again. I was out till 3:30 this morning running calls from my house.
Brian,
Let's just,
Brian, can you quickly explain in like the Cliff Notes version, the cap is so that we don't have to pay healthcare, is that correct? Is the hour cap created to save us money as far as
No,
benefits
the
go?
hour cap was originally, when you read over the minutes and all that.
Yeah.
It's what you can get by with considering a volunteer fire department.
Okay.
Once you go past that cap and you're gonna have a crew working past that, then you have to go to full time.
Okay,
And then you're talking
Okay.
time and a half, you're talking
right,
healthcare, all the benefits.
right. So that cap threshold, we couldn't say to the group, let's add 10 hours to that cap, because that would bump us into a whole different
I don't
bracket.
think you can do it without me looking into it
Okay.
to make sure you could do that.
So before he looks into it, would that, I mean, I know you've got some people set aside that are just completely spent and done. Like you don't want them out there because they're tired, they're exhausted. If we were able to get the cap higher, would that save us a little bit? You have 3 or 4 people that would say, ooh, I'll work more.
3 or 4, no, 1 or 2, maybe.
Because I don't want Brian to spend much time chasing that if, you know, it doesn't help us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know.
do you have your form for the executive session? I just take 5 minutes. I want to talk to her in a minute in the executive session. You are.
Before you do that, so Amy and I had a chance to sit down and go over the handbook. Amy's doing the majority of the heavy lifting on this. I was just kind of there to like bounce some ideas off of. But we are working down through the handbook currently, and we're kind of removing some old wording, some old jargon, and trying to update as we go. So what we're going to do is when we're done with that, we'll bring that before you and kind of go over the changes to try to better understand. We've also looked at some of the leadership roles and some of their responsibilities. We'll also present that. As far as the chief, the assistant chief, captain, lieutenant, how that might play out, how we might be able to adjust some things around, maybe not have as many leadership, maybe move some stipends around, things like that. But we'll bring that to you. So we're working on that. But thank you, Amy, for the work you've done on that so far. And the other thing I wanted to bring up too, we got a list of lights that were burned out, and Brian Garrett was able to collect a few. I think he's been kind of slowly working through the fleet of vehicles to get some lights replaced. Some we changed to LEDs and they were incandescent, so we had to drill some new holes and things like that. But I think we're working toward getting those lights replaced. I spoke to Zach from Advantech about the engine. I was hoping to try to get that engine down there this week, but I feel like you guys are busy. So I feel like I don't want to take the engine away if it's still functioning. So maybe we'll wait another week or two, because if you're running 8 calls and Rick just left for a structure fire or whatever I heard, I don't know if it was or not. Okay, good. All right. I thought I heard fire. I was like, oh no, here goes the engine. Let's just wait on that. We do have a draft issue we're going to work on, and we've got a phone link that we're working on. So Zach from Advantech knows that, and he knows that we're going to bring him the engine. He's going to check it out. We're going to come get it back home to us. You want to go over call volume?
It's a lot. That's what I got.
Okay.
It's a lot.
2610. You had 10 fire.
That's everything though. I mean, that's brush fire, that's
Yeah,
a
okay.
odor investigation, all that stuff.
Got it. Okay. Anything else?
Good.
Good.
All right, trustee Theo moves to go into executive session for personal matters. This refers to the appointment, employment, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual.
Trustee Varian, second.
Roll call.
Varian.
Yes.
Hero.
Yes, timeout is 8:22. We are not going to talk numbers, but we'll invite Fiscal Lowry, Chief,
New Chief Parker. I agree. Turn that TV on. who did I see? It's ESPN game. It's not on 3, 5, or 8.
No, it's on SPN.
Yeah. My son got this game console for Christmas, and so he's just on it and we didn't get him TV for his room, of course. He's just on our main TV. I'm like, dude, you better take that thing off of there.
Was it the Chicago Bears in the New Orleans thing?
I think it might be.
Hey, we all talked out here and we got it, the fire department's all for you, so.
Oh,
Would you like
great.
us to say anything?
That's perfect. Dolphins and Saints.
Dolphins in the Saints. Okay.
7-0 Dolphins.
See, I funked that. Now we're going.
Well, I'm glad you guys saw it.
Only so we could reach the pedals.
So if you work his hands on the.
I can draw. I'm not sure the rest of the
We'll not
stuff.
look at blood, like,
What you're doing.
Oh, you didn't like looking at blood? How do you butcher all the time?
that probably be a bit.
This is
You mean
about
your own?
$4. when we
Any
did
person
it.
blood.
We did it on
Oh, to be my
September
blood?
27th, made it
Yeah.
effective
Oh, really?
Do I need to
That's-
add on to
That's
that?
nice then.
I can make my own new resolution. I can make a new resolution.
I'll throw a towel to you.
I can make a new resolution, right?
Oh. I just called Catherine Cable that night when I ripped my leg open
The only-
right there
the only
before the
problem is I don't know
railroad
what to
track
tell you the
on Donnie Shear's hayride.
is for the
Yeah, Jimmy
remainder.
Holger was
Yeah, 'cause
slung under
You
the back
can
end,
change
holding
this,
on to the
just say you're
board.
gonna amend this.
feet up on the axle.
Okay.
To, from a $4.
Finally went to get down,
To a
put her
10.
feet down.
Yes.
And we'll,
The
and
two
the-
big
the
beams.
And
number,
broke
then
through.
I can get a dollar amount. I got.
Caught me right there by the knee and
But
ripped
that's
my
your
leg.
can I
about
amend
that
this
long.
resolution?
Yeah.
All right, well, can I amend the
If you're gonna
21
make a
240?
resolution to
Most of
amend
them were
that
inside, not outside.
Got it. All right, that's what we'll do.
It was wonderful.
So if you want to take us out, then I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, everything's back on.
All right. Trustee Pierce, like to come back out of executive session at 8:47.
Trustee Varian, second.
Roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Piro,
Yes.
Trustee Varian would like to make a motion, but first a little discussion. We had a chance to go over some details, and we've decided to bump up the premium pay using the American Funds Act. So I'll explain that in my motion. Trustee Varian makes a motion to amend the motion that was made, which is 21-240. The old motion stated that the premium pay would be $4 per hour for the firefighters, EMTs for Osnaburg Township when they're in the act of serving the community. So when they're out and working. We would like to amend that act, or amend that motion, I'm sorry, to be $10 per hour using the American Rescue Funds. We will need to get together and figure out what that total dollar amount is. But we will do that. But it will be $10 an hour premium pay rather than $4. So we'll be adding $6 per hour.
through October of 2022, when it'll be evaluated.
Through October of 22, when it will be reevaluation, and that is also what the first motion stated.
Trustee Pierce, second. Roll call vote.
Varian,
Yes.
Piro.
Yes. Is that all we have for fire department?
That's all we have.
Take the kids and go home.
Okay,
Thanks.
I
Thanks.
only brought the kids because I thought you were swearing me in, so that's.
Sorry.
Do we need to do that,
I have
Brian?
no idea. That's fine.
Say again?
Do we need
You
to
can
swear
swear her
her
in.
tonight?
No.
That's fine. That's
We
fine.
made the motion already to have her as the
She'll be
as the chief.
okay on the first.
I gotta think about it. Right now, I started right here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as the year change.
No, the change, I can change it right away. Like, if
Okay.
you want to put the date of it starting, I gotta think a second here. We just did payrolls the 31st. Yeah, the 26th, backdated to the 26th of December.
Okay.
Because they just got paid for the week ending the 25th. We can backdate it to the 26th moving forward into the new year. That's what you're asking me, right, to start this?
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
No, because she's already
No, I'm
been.
already getting.
Yeah, she already.
She's
that was
already
already
paid. Does she need to be sworn in?
Do we need to be sworn? We're talking just swearing in
For
because
the chief.
she was already put in as the
You
the
can, but
interim chief.
not to take away from that, I just want to make sure you can plug in your $10 on the 26th. I'm gonna make that resolution,
Okay.
say the 26th. So your
Gotcha.
people are getting that now if they've
Okay.
already been out. And yes, swear in.
Okay, so to add to that motion, that's gonna be active as the 26th.
Yes.
Okay.
26, yes.
Okay. Do you have that paperwork for the swearing?
Need a Bible too.
Mhm.
Need a Bible.
Do you want the fire one?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are putting me on the.
I'm sorry.
What else can we put
I want to go home.
Ditto.
Mhm.
I got done at 3:30 this morning.
I think before the road report, I think we need to call another executive.
No wonder when I called her, she don't answer.
Ryan said
anymore.
everything.
I didn't think she, I figured I wasn't a friend anymore.
She was not too pleased when you called her this morning,
What?
because she's like, I just got up.
I'm sorry.
I just got up.
Thank me for the bad boy that I am. Hey, welcome to my world. I get woke up like that all the time. I hate it when you get woke up by like the state troopers or something. And then they holler at you.
Is that
saying,
why you're
"You got a
driving?"
tree down up on your road on such and such, and it ain't even in our township. We go out." That's what stinks. Okay. I get your part though. Yeah, you guys ain't got nobody. Hmm. I was gonna say, I'll come up and run meat wagon. But we ain't allowed, we gotta be trained, right, to even get behind the wheel.
This is a trustee one.
Technical term is that one tree with peaceful.
I'll get it.
That's fine.
We'll clean that up.
That's fine. We'll clean it up. That's fine.
If I can clean that up, I'll put it on our letterhead then. You guys just do it, we'll write the resolution.
All right.
You sure you want to be sworn in?
Don't come to me.
No. The door's locked. You have to stay.
This is my third promotion in 15 years. This is the first time they've ever done this.
All right. I think this raise hand on the Bible. Raise your other hand. Repeat after me. I, Amy Parker,
I, Amy Parker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties and responsibilities of Osnaburg Township Fire Chief
that I will faithfully execute the duties and responsibilities of Osnaburg Township Fire Chief
in and for the Township of Osnaburg,
in and for the Township of Osnaburg,
County of Stark,
County of Stark,
State of Ohio.
State of Ohio.
I will do the best of my ability to preserve,
I will do the best of my abilities to preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States of America
and laws of the United States of America
and of the State of Ohio,
and of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinances,
and the ordinances,
rules, and regulations
rules, and regulations
of Osnaburg Township,
of Osnaburg Township,
so help me God.
so help me God.
And I will recruit plenty of employees.
Yay! All right, you're stuck. Good deal. All right. I'm glad we got that done.
Can't go nowhere now. All right, get back to work.
Ben, you look like a good EMT firefighter. I just feel like you look children. Oh, children, that's right. They have children. This is the problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Cemetery.
Hey, Amy, I won't call you anymore.
Last week, we had an open closing at Indian Run. I turned into fiscal officer Lowry, $800 for that. We've got another one coming up this week at Mapleton. Will be another $800 coming at the next meeting. And that's it, other than I just tonight I got this map from Coons. I'll make some copies and
How bad does it look, or
How bad
how,
does it
do you
look?
understand any of it?
How bad's it look?
When I see that whole cemetery on one piece of paper,
Paper.
that small worries me.
You get a magnifying glass with a piece of paper.
it would appear like every time they sold a lot, they used the next number rather than numbering the rows in order.
Okay.
So we got like 25, 26, 27, 28, 29,
Okay.
30.
So there's
In the
no,
tail of the donkey. I got you.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
All
so
right.
they don't have the lots numbered like we do in
In
rows
rows.
and everything.
They
Okay.
just, I think, measure off the previous burial and it's good enough.
And good enough. Got it. Got it.
We may have to
So
invest.
lot one is an old tombstone.
Does it have measurements at all of how they're buried?
There is not a single dimension on this map.
Okay, that's what I was
It's
afraid
afraid
of.
of.
Wow.
I think these little lines mean a headstone.
Okay.
Okay. So you have an idea of which direction and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
Yeah.
You know, railroad, walnut, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
But beyond that, like, maybe we want to look at buying some pins and pinning out this open area so we
Yeah.
at least,
No,
when
we're.
we sell a lot, we can say, there it is, not.
So the end of the page closest to you is where the old church was.
The old church is up here.
Yep,
yes.
okay.
Railroad tracks here.
Yep.
back
So
in
there's
the-
a big chunk there in the top
There
corner
is, yeah.
across from Dave Arian's old house there, like a little further up. Okay.
Hey, at least you got that.
Yeah, that's great.
I wondered too if he was gonna get anything.
Go out and read the tombstones, write them down on a piece of paper.
Well, I'll just add quick that they had, the Wreaths Across America. Thanks for everything that you did, and thanks to everybody that came out and helped park cars, direct traffic.
For the terrible weather, it was still a great turnout, I
Oh, I
thought.
thought it was a great event.
Yeah, it was busy. So, all right.
I wanted to say something also. The Jim Beck called me and he went through the cemeteries as a cleanup and mow on all of them. And I didn't get to all of them to know, but everyone I drove by looked like it was done. I didn't know if you happened to see.
I had to chase him out
Yeah.
last week for the thorn.
Thorn,
We were
yeah.
like waiting on the hearse and they're still mowing. And the
Oh,
guys,
jeez.
oh,
All
go.
right.
They left and came
They
back.
look really nice. though. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they got out of there
Doesn't
and
happen all
stood
that
off
often.
maybe
You haven't-
another 15, 20 minutes. and then
Ryan,
they-
you haven't heard anything on, I talked to Sonny about a month ago. He was going to keep his rate at the same rate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he told me, but nothing has
He's not
changed.
mentioned it.
Okay. The other thing was Jim Beck. I asked him to do his analysis for us because we're going to do a reorganizational meeting next week, and we always approve that. Jimmy hasn't got it to me, but I'll call him a little, pester him a little bit because sometimes they add a 1 or 2% increase from year to year. But now I need him to throw in the pot,
Right.
this
That,
other cemetery,
Yep.
to see whether we want to have him do that possibly and budget in because
Yeah.
that's going to, I know that isn't going to be a cheap one to mow.
No, it's not.
It's a lot of,
It's a lot of
hard.
space.
And it might be worth to talk to Steve Butler to see what he was charging them also, just to see where he was at.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Just
being so
wondering.
close to St. Paul's, it would make sense to do them together and everything. But
It would.
It's still a lot of,
I just want to see what Jim, he knows that cemetery would be possibly coming to us, but I don't know if he went over and really evaluated it. But
Okay.
I would have to think that one might cost more than that St.
Is that one a
Paul,
really
because it's
rough one too?
What's that?
Really rough.
Yeah.
No, St. Paul's is done by Steve still, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
St. Paul's done by
Was.
It was.
St. Paul. Yeah, Steve's done St. Paul's for years.
Yeah, we knew that.
But right now, Jimmy has the whole thing, all of them, as
Yeah,
a
right.
package deal. And that's why I'll give him an opportunity
Right.
and then go from there.
They actually went over and
All right.
next year I'd like to go before fire and buy my house.
You have my hand, you both right there. Hey, I want to just state that my kids and I had an opportunity to participate in Wreaths Across America, and I thought it was a really great event. I don't know, there's something special about it. I'll just pack it into that little Mapleton church. It's a cool space.
Mhm.
I know it's got its own group of issues. Paint peeling from the walls and this and that, but it's a cool little old
Be
building.
nice to get it all fixed
It would
back
be,
up.
it would be nice to get it all fixed back up. But thank you guys all for being a part of that. My kids and I went to Mount Tabor's, and then Coons, so we got a chance to travel around a little bit, set wreaths, and it was good for them to be part of that. So thank you guys. We'll be there next year. So
All right. Go back and add something to the fire department.
Yeah.
For Chief.
You go back.
Quick.
Chief, we worked through the fire department. I'll give you a quick update. We talked about a couple, call volume, things like that. Obviously, the department's busy. And talking, we went in executive and chatted about some different things, all about, personnel and trying to get more people here. That's kind of what, Amy brought to us. Talked about the conversation with Chief Bordner in Louisville, and, their lack of people to be pulling a squad from their community and sending to ours. So we're working through that. So we worked kind of through all that stuff. We did make a motion to up the premium pay from $4 an hour to $10 an hour. So that hopefully that gives us an opportunity for some of these folks that are working their A job to say, hey, this B job is worth it at $10 an hour. I know that's only when you're out working, but like Amy said, we had 8 runs, today, so we hope that those folks at $10 an hour, they can say, man, if, my wage now is 22 or 24 when I'm not working. And I hope that's an incentive for some more people to pick up.
Right.
We weren't able to add that the hour cap because we got to look into the details of that. I think if we increase that, now we're into full time and we've got to change a lot of what we do.
Okay.
So yeah, but I just want to give you an update on that. And then as far as the first thing on the agenda, it looks like the Pulse aux cable. Do we need to order that?
Yeah, I think Amy already, I don't know if she said, but I
We
think she
talked
already
about this.
ordered it.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
ordered with grant money, so we were just making that. And then so my final thing is I just very much appreciate all you've done for us. Thank you for your service in Osnaburg. Good luck in your future adventures. And so yes, thank you very much. So as I'm getting into this, being the new guy, it's kind of sometimes hard to believe that you have an A job that's full time and then you're the chief of a part time. So I've really enjoyed getting to know the fire department and the workings. And it's been great working with you, Rick. I appreciate you very much. So I know you're a local guy, so I might see you around, but thank you.
Yep, no,
Very much.
I appreciate the opportunity. I think working with previous trustees and current, everything went fantastic. It went much better than what I was led to believe it would. I was very pleased with how it all went. So yeah, I wish everyone well, and of course I'll keep in touch with Amy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever, because I'm sure there's going to be some things that come up after the new year that I'll be able to help with.
And just for the record, how many years are you with us?
So 10 years total, 5
Okay.
years as a chief.
Okay, 10, and 5. Great. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
All right. Road report, you got 5 minutes.
Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's go past that.
They're still here?
Yes, the rebar showed up last Thursday.
Great.
And was unloaded, so it's laying out here.
Piece at a time, unloaded piece at a time. Good.
Chief Officer Lowry has told me that we have not received a letter back from the attorney or from Dwayne on the new updated contract, so I will call Dwayne tomorrow and see to it that he get that to us
Okay.
as soon as possible.
Have they talked yet about digging footers?
He said that they was hoping to be here today if it wouldn't have been raining so much.
Okay.
They were gonna try to be in here today and start digging, but
Okay.
I
So we're
don't know how tomorrow's gonna look.
okay.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be a lot of rain tomorrow yet, so it might not be to the end of the week or
Okay. Well, we're on his radar and he's coming to us when it's clean up.
right.
All right. Great.
All right. Anything else? Nothing, bro.
nothing. Minnie's leaking oil underneath there again where we fixed it. We're gonna have to do something with that here over the winter.
Put some good on
Is
Needs to go down the road.
would the LEPO be able to give us any kind of warranty on that, or does it not? They're not.
I can call them, tell them it's leaking again. But
I know it was a big project.
It's
to
only
do that
been about
seal.
a year.
Yeah, it's a big project. You have to pull the thing apart. Like I
You got to tear the seat out, go down through from inside the cab down there. to, I think, whatever it is.
I mean, I guess it's worth a call to say, hey, you guys did this job a year ago and it's leaking.
Yeah, you probably ought to reach
Well,
out.
I can do that.
Right, yeah.
I can do that.
The original,
I don't-
the original quote they had on that, which Stewie might remember, I don't remember the
It was
exact
for
amount.
around $3,400.
Was it the?
That was for
original?
the rotator, but it wasn't the
Yeah, it
rotator.
wasn't that. It actually
Yeah.
ended up being cheaper.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
That's
It
right.
was cheaper for 20-some hundred.
So-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but they didn't know until they got in.
So they got
You
in.
think it's something different leaking or same?
I
thing?
don't know. It's
It's
leaking
in the
right
same
where it was
area.
before.
Right,
It could
that was
be,
just in June.
well,
I'm just saying, if it is the same thing, there might be something to it.
I'll call them tomorrow and see what they say.
Talk real nice to him.
Worst thing I can say is no.
Be real sweet. Be a sweetheart.
Sounds like a-
Well, I guess we'll just go back and touch, 2076 Clover Ridge. I've been working with the health department and she said they'll test the whole septic system. I just have to get the form back to them and everything. It's in
Okay.
motion, so.
When we went out and looked at it, me and Brian, the one day after I got back to work.
Brian Garrett.
Brian Garrett, Mr. Garrett. We went out and looked at that. There was a slight fluid coming out of it. It was clear. The ditch was clear. There was no black in the ditch. It
Well,
did not
regardless.
smell. I'm just,
This will put it to bed.
yes. Yep.
It's either good or it's not.
Yep, that's right. A pass or a fail.
Pass or fail.
All
That's right.
right,
Okay, I'm done.
zoning.
We haven't had any new certificates issued since the last meeting. One has been updated. If you remember, a while ago, there was a complaint about junk vehicles over on Swallen and that property. They were putting up a new building. He adjusted the size of his building to better fit his needs. So he does have a builder and that will be coming soon, he hopes. So, other than that, there's not a whole lot of change. Our next commission meeting is the 17th of January. Board of Appeals has their reorganization meeting January 3rd. And then from one of the commission members, Rick Wakeham, he would like to be considered for an open spot on the Board of Appeals, if that is possible. So he turned in a quick little letter asking for that.
We just need-
As the zoning inspector, will that work for that move?
I believe so.
Okay.
What he's doing, I believe, is taking a place where, Mr. Reed, had filled that spot.
Okay. As soon
And I think it works out better for Mr. Wakeham because the Board of Appeals don't meet as much
Yeah.
as what the commission did, and he wasn't always able to.
would
be
he
there,
fill the
and he felt
assistant,
bad
the
about it.
assistant chair position? I think that's what Reed was,
Yeah.
assistant chair. Okay.
Well, they'll do
They'll re-up.
reorientation.
Okay.
That's next Monday.
So we just need a motion to move it
You can
over.
do the motion right now, make it effective January 1st, and I'll just write it on the reorgan, so it's in there along with the other zoning personnel that you already did. I'll put them in there that they were approved, but the resolution will be just confirming it as part of the reorganizational meeting. But you could do it officially.
Trustee Pure moves to move Mr. Richard Wakeham Jr. from the,
Zoning Board of Commission,
he wants to be moved from the BZA to the
No.
zone.
commission to the BZA.
Okay, he wants to move from the commission to the BZA. Effective immediately.
Trustee Barry in second.
Roll call, Varian
Yes.
and Pure.
Yes. Is that all you have?
That's all I have.
I received a call from a resident on Holland. They're having issues with people parking on the road, both sides of the road. I haven't got any of the stuff yet, so I'm just letting you know. They said it was a concern of emergency vehicles wouldn't be able to get through if you ran into anything.
Not on Holland.
Holland's not a very big road.
Right, so I'm just letting you know, I don't know what,
It's down in the swale, right in the bottom of the swale. We put that new culvert in for, oh shoot, what was her name?
Don't say it. Not a legal meeting, I mean, it's, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, well, whatever. Okay.
Regardless,
You know-
the road's narrow, I plowed it there a couple times, and it's, so,
So they're parking over that culvert? Are they like?
No, they're parking alongside the road.
Okay, got it.
but sometimes it's parking on both
Oh, so you
sides.
can barely
Both sides,
fit-
it don't
gosh, you can
leave.
Barely fit through there.
Yeah, it don't leave much room.
So-
There's no way you can make it through probably with a ambulance,
Engine-
fire
engine
truck,
would be-
or one of
I'll
our
have
small 550s with a
later
plow.
on,
There's no.
as I get more information.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I have no old business,
Been having trouble with that.
no new business, no correspondence, so.
The only new business, or actually old business, a reminder, our reorganization for the trustees is on Tuesday, January the 4th at 2 PM.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Trustee Varian moves to adjourn and pay bills.
Trustee Piro seconds.
Varian,
Yep.
Piro,
Yes. That's all we always-
Oh, yeah,
You'll be-
dang it.
You'll be in the hot seat.
Dang, Randy, no. Well, we need to make
No
a,
problem.
get together and make ourselves an agreement.
that's good.
Yeah, so that's gonna work much better than my schedule.
How you do that?
It can vary, I could do a couple hours of both, maybe.
See,
Wow.